Let's go ahead and get started by taking a nice comfortable seat on our mat. Ground down. Arrive. Close your eyes. Take a big breath in. Let it out through your nose. Another big deep breath in. Let it out. When you're ready, inhale, arms lift up, look up. Exhale, hands come down. Reach through your fingers as far as they'll go. Inhale, arms lift up, look up. Exhale, hands come down. One more, inhale, arms lift up, look up. Exhale, hands come down. Now inhale, arms lift up, twist to your left, left hand behind you, right hand to your knee. Lengthen up, twist. Big deep breath in and let it out. Look forward, unwind. Inhale, arms lift up and twist to your right. Right hand behind you, left hand to your knee. Lengthen through the top of your head, gaze over your back shoulder. Look forward, unwind. Plant your left hand down, right arm up and over. Reach through your fingers as far as they'll go. Reach, reach, reach. Rotate your chest and heart up towards the ceiling. Look up. Come back to center, right hand down, left arm up and over. Anchor down as you reach and spiral your chest towards the ceiling. Come back to center. We're coming into tabletop position, wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. On your inhalation, drop your belly, lift your heart, look up. Pull your belly button towards the ceiling, round your head and neck. So moving in and out of cat-cow with your breath at your own pace, wiggling around in your body as much as you need to. Finding your tabletop position. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Coming high up on your toes, lift your hips. Press your heels back and down, pedal your feet. Look forward between your hands. Walk your feet up to the top of the mat. Bring your hands to your shins. Press and lengthen forward and fold. Utkatasana. Inhale, arms lift up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms sweep up, reach high, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway. And fold, plant your hands, step or hop back to plank, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, take it back, downward facing. 5 deep ujjayi breaths. Look between your hands, step or hop to the top of the mat. Lengthen through, fold. Inhale, lift up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms sweep up, reach high, swan, dive forward. Inhale, lengthen. and fold. Plant your hands, step or hop back to plank. Hold your plank, take a deep breath. Lower down, knees, chest, and chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, upward. Exhale, downward. Big breathing. Look forward, step or hop to the top of the mat. Lengthen through, fold. Inhale, lift up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms sweep up, reach high, swan dive forward. Lift to lengthen. Fold, plant your hands, step or hop back to plank. Hold your plank, breathe. Lower down, knees, chest, and chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, take it back and down, diggity dog, take it back. Connect with your breath. Look forward between your hands, step, hop, or float to the top of the mat. Lengthen, fold. Inhale, lift up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Last Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, arms sweep up, reach up, fold. Lift and lengthen. And fold. Plant your hands, step or hop back to plank. Hold your plank. Can you lower down and hover 90-degree angles with your arms and elbows? Press back up. Lower down and hover. Press up. One more, lower down and hover. Press up, press back down, diggity dog, take it back. Look forward, step, hop, or float to the top of the mat. Lengthen through, fold. Inhale, lift up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Bend your knees, Utkatasana chair, sit back deep. Fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway. Fold, plant your hands, step or hop back to plank, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Downward facing. Right leg lifts up, reach high. Draw your knee in, step through Virabhadrasana 1, plant your back foot, lift up. Hands come down, step back to plank, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Left leg lifts up, reach high. Draw your knee in, step through Virabhadrasana 1, lift up. Hands come down, step back to plank, lower down, chaturanga. Upward and downward. Look forward, step, hop, or float to the top of the mat. Lengthen through, fold. Bend your knees, Utkatasana, chair, sit back deep. Straighten your legs, arms lift up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Bend your knees, Utkatasana, chair, sit back deep. Fold, Uttanasana. Lift to lengthen. Fold, plant your hands, step or hop back to plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Upward and downward. Right leg lifts up, reach high. Draw your knee and step through Virabhadrasana 1 on this side. Plant your back foot down, arms lift up. Look up. All right, check in with your front knee. Is it over top of your ankle? Let's take our hands back behind us. Draw your shoulders back. Look up. Hug in towards the midline. Opening up your shoulders, little back bend here. Now coming forward. This is called wounded warrior or humble warrior. Check in with that front knee over top of the ankle. Opening out. Keep lengthening the spine. Press into the foot, lift up. Release your hands, bring your hands to the top of the mat. Step back to plank, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts up or reach high. Draw your knee in, step through Virabhadrasana 1 on this side, lift up. Hands come back behind you. Interlace those fingers. Now, whichever pinky is on the bottom, switch the interlacing of your fingers. Switch the interlacing of your thumb. It's a little bit of a mental exercise there. Front knee, check in with that front knee. Draw your shoulder blades back. Look up, little back bend. Connect to your breath. Open forward, coming into humble warrior on this side, front knee over top of your ankle. Breathe your way in, lengthen through the top of your head. Release your hands down, step back to plank. Hold your plank for a beat, check in. Find your alignment. Lower down, chaturanga, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing, take it back. Ooh. Look between your hands, step or hop to the top of the mat. Lengthen through, fold. Inhale, lift up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Bend your knees, Utkatasana, chair, sit back deep. Draw your hands to heart center. Now, as you can see, my tailbone is tucked up, tuck under, find length, sit back. Twist to the left, right elbow, left thigh. Can you sit back a little deeper? Come back to center, twist to the other side. Come back to center, fold Utkatasana. Inhale, lengthen. And fold, plant your hands, step or hop back to plank. Lower down, chaturanga, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Right leg lifts up, reach high. Draw your knee in, step through Virabhadrasana 1. Plant your back foot down, arms lift up. One breath. Hands come back behind you, interlace your fingers. Coming forward, humble warrior. Lift back up. Release your hands, hands to the top of the mat, step back to plank. Lower down, chaturanga, upward facing. Downward facing. Left leg lifts up, reach high. Draw your knee in, step through Virabhadrasana 1. Lift up, one breath. Hands come back behind you. Interlace your fingers, humble warrior on this side. And release your hands, coming down, step back to plank. Chaturanga, upward and downward. Look forward, step, hop, or float to the top of the mat. Lengthen through, fold. Bend your knees, Utkatasana, chair sit back deep. Straighten your legs, arms lift up, exhale, hands to heart center. Bend your knees, Utkatasana, chair sit back deep. Fold. Inhale to lengthen. Plant your hands, step or hop back to plank, lower down, upward and downward. Right leg lifts up, reach high. Draw your knee in, step through, Virabhadrasana 1, lift up. Hands come back behind you. Interlace your fingers, open your chest and your heart, come forward. Humble warrior. Release your hands, windmill your hands back up, Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Straighten your front leg, Trikonasana, triangle on this side. Spiral your chest and your heart open. Press into your feet, arms lift up. Bend your front knee, palm of the front hand face up. Reach back, windmill your hands to the top of the mat. Step back to plank, core is engaged, belly lifted, breathe. Lower down, chaturanga, upward facing, downward facing. Left leg lifts up, reach high, draw your knee in, step through, Virabhadrasana 1. Lift up, 1 breath. Hands come behind you, reach back, open up, come forward, humble warrior. Release your hands down, windmill them up, Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Straighten the front leg, reach forward, triangle. Come back to Virabhadrasana 2, windmill the top of the hand up, exalt your warrior, now to the top of the mat. Step back to plank, lower down, chaturanga, upward facing, down, diggity dog, take it back. Look forward to the top of the mat, step, hop, or float to the top of the mat. Lengthen through, fold. Bend your knees, Utkatasana, chair, sit back deep. Straighten your legs, arms lift up, exhale, hands to heart center. Utkatasana, chair, sit back deep. Fold, Uttanasana. Lift to lengthen. Fold, plant your hands, step or hop back to plank, lower down, chaturanga, upward and downward. Right leg lifts up, reach high. Draw your knee in, coming forward into pigeon. Pigione. Open your heart and your chest. Puff it out. Proud pigeons. Puffing out your heart and your chest. Little back bend here. Check in with your breath. Lead with your chin, wave down. Lead with the back of the neck, lift back up. Follow your breath. Take a few waves following your inhale and exhale. One more, coming down. And lift up. Coming all the way down, proud pigeons puffing out. Actually, prayerful pigeons coming down, sinking in. I think of yoga as the worship of the present moment. All we have now, right here. I interviewed Deborah Silverman on the podcast this week, and she said, wake up. She said, this movie's going to be over soon. Our movies don't last very long, not in the grand scheme of things. And all you can be present to is this moment right here. Wake up. Be present. Connect to your breath. Lifting up. Pour weight into the right side. Take the left leg over and around. Woo! Ground down through your sit bones. Lift through the top of your head. Begin to twist to the left. Gaze over your back shoulder. You know, in COVID, when you pause, you realize you haven't brushed your teeth all day. It might be one of those moments right now. Wherever you are, is exactly where you need to be. Lengthening up. Gaze over your back shoulder. Breathe your way in. Look forward. Unwind. Counter twist to the other side. Look forward. Unwind. Take it back. Downward facing dog. Any way you'd like. Shake that booty back and forth. Float the left leg up towards the sky. Press out through your heel. Draw your knee in. Come forward into pigeon on this side. Ooh, those hips do wake us up. Wake up to that emotion right there. Whatever is in this spot. Lift and lengthen. Puff out your chest and your heart. See what's there, what's trying to come in right now. What's trying to penetrate our hearts in this moment. Lift up. Lead with your chin. Come on down. Lead with the back of the neck to lift. Take a couple of these waves, moving with your breath. What emotion of the breath are you riding right now? Ride that wave all the way down and sink in. Lift up. Proud pigeons, puffing out your chart in your chest. Pour weight into the left side. Right leg comes over and around. Ground down through your sit bones. Lift up through the top of your head. Hug your left leg. Twist to the right. Excuse me, you're hugging your right leg with your left hand as you twist to the right. Twist back to center, counter twist to the other side. Look forward, unwind, and here's the thing. We're going to take it back to one last downward facing dog. I know I don't normally do this after pigeon, but take it back to down dog. Woo! Now, walk your hands back to your feet. Yes, we are standing back up. Now, deep bend in your knees here. Ragdoll it up, up, up. Rag it up. Woo! All right, shake those hips back and forth. Wiggle it out. Get the wiggles out. Now, from here, I want you to step Your right foot forward, taking a side straddle on your mat. Here we go. Toes point towards the side of your mat. We need to do a straddle pose. We haven't done one of these in a while. And our bodies need it. Yep, we're doing what our bodies need here. So I want you to take your hands back behind you, interlace those fingers. Whatever pinky just went on top, switch the interlacing. Switch the interlacing of your thumb. Why do I have you do that? Because it switches up the neural pathways. We gotta switch it up. Do something different, shake it up. If we do things the way we've always done them, we get exactly what we got before. We don't want that. Now, draw those shoulder blades back and down. Lift up through the top of your head, look up, come forward, pause halfway, coming all the way down. Woo! You might feel this in your hamstrings. You might feel this in your face as all the blood rushes to your face. You might feel it in your shoulders. You might feel it everywhere. Release your hands down, lining up those fingers with your toes. Relax your head forward. Breathe. Coming up onto your fingertips, lengthen forward, flat back, fold back down. Bring your hands to your ankles or your shins, gently drawing your body closer, your upper body closer to your legs. Take your right hand over to your left. Walking your hands back to center and then over to the right. Walking your hands back to center, coming up onto your fingertips. Heel toe your feet together until we're in a standing forward fold. Ooh! Deep bend in your knees, ragdoll up. Maybe, like me, you now have a head rush because that will do it to you. Come on down onto your mat. All right. It wouldn't be yoga without Navasana, in my opinion. And you know what? There's a lot of poses that we skip because I think we need other things. Lift those legs. Core is engaged, belly lifted. Bring your hands together. Right elbow towards the floor. Tap it. Come back to center. Left elbow to the floor. Tap it. Center. Yes, we are doing Russian twists because we need them. Our bodies need them. Tap, center. Tap, center. Tap, center. Tap, center. Tap, center. Tap, center, tap, center, tap, center, tap, center, tap, center. Oh my gosh, it's like we are Gene Kelly right now. Tap, center, tap, center, tap, center, tap, center. Ooh! Feet come down. Reach those arms out. Yes, you did it. We're coming back onto our backs. Believe it or not, that is all the core you are getting today. Draw your knees in, lift your head, lift your tailbone, turn it into a little ball. Exhale your head back down. Rock it out. Bring your feet down on the mat. Hands come down at your sides. Now, press into your feet. Lift your hips up. Coming up into bridge, opening your heart. Bring your hands together underneath you. Hug those legs in, lift up, lift, lift, lift. Release your hands, slowly lowering back, down. Woo! Center yourself in the middle of your mat. Find the edges of the mat with your feet. Open those arms out wide like a T. Let your knees fall to the right. Gently turn your head left. Let go. Relax, release, unwind. Lift your knees up to center. Let them fall over to the other side as you gently turn your head right. Lift your knees up to center. Extend your legs out on the mat. Hands come down at your sides. Open wide. You might even open your legs a little bit wider. Let them fall open. Let everything fall open. And what I want you to do is get as comfortable as possible in Shavasana, corpse pose. I told you this movie will not last long. And in yoga, every time we practice yoga, we come back to Shavasana. They call it corpse pose to remind us that to dust we return, so that we keep it top of mind, so that we'll wake up and pay attention and rest when it's important to rest. Coming into your Shavasana, your corpse pose, returning to rest, letting go, relaxing any part of the body that is still tight, gripping, holding, let it go. And I will be reading from Rolf Gates's meditation on the mat. Begins with an excerpt from the Yoga Sutras that says, through spiritual reading, disciples gain communion with the divine power on which their hearts are set. I'm going to reread that because it's worth saying again. Through spiritual reading, disciples gain communion with the divine power on which their hearts are set. The fourth niyama, svadhyaya, which literally means education of the self or self-study. This observance is most commonly associated with the expectation that serious yoga students will develop the practice of reading sacred literature. In my own life, this means that I am always reading something by one or another of the writers I consider my spiritual teachers. This is not to say that I don't treat myself to some trashy fiction or a history book, but I stay close to the words of my teachers as well. I read their books over and over again, and as the years go by, I find that their lessons are always fresh. This reading practice works both to ground my everyday behavior and to give me insight into new spiritual terrain. As in every other aspect of the yogic way of life, there is a magic to this process of seeking out and reading those works that speak to our true nature. The words of our teachers slowly work their way into our consciousness. Often we find that statements or concepts that we couldn't understand or had no use for when we first read them come alive days or months or even years later, as the circumstances of our lives confirm their messages. There's always magic in the ways in which our teachers eventually speak through us. Our thoughts, words, and deeds are informed by the writings of our teachers. It is our magnificent experience to see the beauty of our teachers' souls become manifest in our own lives, to see the loving hands that have touched us, touched others through us. Through spiritual reading, we gain communion with the divine power on which our hearts are set. Take a big, deep breath in. Let it out nice and slow. Bring small movements to your toes and your fingers, and maybe move your head from side to side. As you're ready, bend your knees, bring your feet to the mat. Gently and carefully roll to the right side, pausing there for just a moment, honoring your transition out of the practice as much as you honor the practice itself. Slowly and carefully push yourself up to a nice, comfortable seated position, eyes closed, hands at heart center. Yoga will teach you so much about yourself. It will help you become flexible in mind, in body, and in spirit. For that, I'm truly grateful. Thank you so much for coming to class today. Namaste. Good work. Have a great day.